We all know how technology is changing the way we work, but that's especially the case with creative individuals like musicians. From guitar amplification to keyboards, musicians have always been on the forefront of technology. Now, the big trend is now in creating music with smartphones and tablets, and Andy is here because he's musically inclined to help us figure this all out.
That's right, Mike. We're seeing a whole new bunch of apps and iPad accessories specifically designed for musicians.
This is kind of cool. I want to start here. This looks like a full mixing board.
This is the Alessis IO Dock, and it's a universal docking station specifically built for the iPad.
Well, I see it's got a bunch of different inputs on it. There's MIDI ones on the side, and it's got also the regular, I guess, quarter-inch inputs as well.
You see, the touchscreens on the iPad for apps like GarageBand are fun to play with, but not for the serious musician who's looking to record and compose.
So now all of this gear you brought in today, the mics, the keyboards, everything can plug directly into this. And what app would we be using? You talked about GarageBand. Is that what we're looking at here?
It's a good guess, but no. What we're using is a new app called Auria by Wave Machine Labs. It's really changing the way that musicians are going to create music, record, and compose all on the iPad.
So what makes it different than GarageBand?
Well, for starters, GarageBand only gives you 8 tracks to record, whereas with this, you get up to 24 tracks on the original iPad and 48 tracks on the new iPad.
That sounds like a lot of tracks, but do you really need that many? Like, we don't even have 8 instruments here.
You might think that 8 is enough, but when you're in a proper recording studio, the drums alone can take 8 tracks. And then you have vocals and guitars and synths.
Got it.
So you need that extra flexibility to basically put more layers of music on.
Okay, so this app looks pretty complex. How much does it cost?
It's not cheap, Mike. It costs $50 at launch.
$50? Why so much?
Well, it comes with a lot of bells and whistles like effects, compressors, equalizers. Everything that a musician would need to mix and record is all inside this app.
Well, I really like the mixing board app on here. It looks honestly a lot like the mixing board that I use down at the radio station for my radio show.
Not only that, but it actually has an FX button right on the top, so you get access to a whole bunch of effects and presets all built in.
Well, that's kind of cool because, you know, when I go into a lot of studios, they've got stuff everywhere. There's cables, patch cords, you know, all the different pedals, but here it's kind of all mixed into the iPad.
Yeah, and the great thing about when you're making music on the iPad is that once you get the basics down of recording, you can focus on composing and making music rather than on the technical aspects of recording.
Okay, so what if we've actually created something on here, we've recorded it. Can I take what I've done here and bring it to like a professional recording studio?
That's a great question. Not only can you export the sessions to a real studio, you can actually import sessions from a studio into the iPad. And I've actually imported a song that I've been creating in the studio, and I was hoping you could help me out finish it.
Well, I think that would be kind of cool. When we come back later, Andy and I are going to actually try to create some cool music using the iPad.
You can't play, can you?
Not whatsoever.
Gotta get connected.